Boy, where you been? It's TeeJay, the artist. You rocking with me. You are the smartest, and we back with another video, man. We got Jimmy High Roller. You know when we watch one of those videos, it's gonna be fire. We got the only man to beat Father Time, and you see who it is. LeBron James. I remember that tweet. That tweet said, LeBron James is 30. This won't go on for long. Now he about to be 40. And he's still here cooking. We about to see what went on. I can't even talk. We about to see what went on. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Like if you hate LeBron. Subscribe if you love LeBron. That's how we gonna do it. Let's get into the video. Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit?
And long-standing member of the LeBron Stan Club, I saw something the other day that completely broke my heart. And it came right from the king himself. A statement about the day that we all knew was coming, but desperately hoping that it never would.
How long do you think you could be playing at this level if you chose to?
Well, it's not me. Obviously, it's the mind. It's wherever my mind is how the rest of my body is gonna go. Whatever the case may be, I'm not gonna play that much longer. To be completely honest, I don't know how many years that it is. If it's 1 year or 2 years, or whatever the case may be.
Oh Lord, are y'all ready for Bron to retire? Oh no.
I said the other night, I'm not playing till the wheels fall off. I'm not gonna be that guy.
We've got about 2 more seasons to watch LeBron James play basketball before he finally hangs it up. And the show,
that farewell tour gonna be crazy, boy. Them tickets gonna be crazy. Y'all, you know what? Y'all might well go ahead and try to buy tickets now. Because them, as soon as he say this is my last season, boy, them tickets gonna be $1,000 for the nosebleeds. I'm telling you.
That we have spent the last 2 decades enjoying comes to an end. But what if it didn't?
What if it didn't?
Retiring as a great, productive, impactful, coherent basketball player. What if LeBron just played until the wheels fell off? What if he played until he wasn't good enough to play anymore? A point where he serves no value to any team in the NBA and he's hypothetically forced to retire as an unsigned free agent. Well, if you ask me, that's an easy one. The answer is never. My team's presence alone is worth 10 men. But if we were to not look at this through the lens of a concerningly obsessive fan, how long could LeBron truly play before he simply wasn't good enough to be in the NBA?
How long could he really play? Like, if he played till the wheels fall off, I think he could play another, another 6 years. Because he take care of his body too well. So another 6, I think he could play another 6, to be honest. He not going to play another 6, but he can play another 6.
Jimmy, how long you can stave it off, it inevitably catches up to everyone. Except for LeBron James. In year 22, LeBron continues to completely piss on every expectation and timeline set out for him and his career. Now approaching 40 years old and still one of the best players
in the league.
There are grown, adult fans of the NBA who have never known a day without LeBron in the league.
That's crazy.
There are NBA players who have yet to witness a season without
LeBron James in it.
Including the one he literally created. Now, LeBron's perpetual reign is no secret. It continues to baffle most fans on a daily basis. And this got me thinking, how long could LeBron actually play before he's no longer at least a serviceable NBA player? The point where he's no longer good enough to even have a spot in the league. 6, 7 more years?
6.
Maybe until he's 50. I'm sure that number sounds like a stretch. After all, the oldest player in modern NBA history,
Kevin Willis,
barely hobbled his way to being a 44-year-old active NBA player. And LeBron has already been the oldest player in the NBA for a couple seasons now. But LeBron's refusal to play his age has gone on for so long now that at this point, it would be shocking if he did get worse. Here are 3 players and their numbers from this season. All really good, productive players.
One of them, Giannis.
You to guess who each of these players are. Now, statistically, they're all relatively close, but they shouldn't be. Because player A is early MVP candidate prime Jason Tatum. Player B is Luka Doncic. And player C
LeBron James.
LeBron James. And this is why people believe LeBron could play for as long as he wants.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Year 22, playing like 2 young megastars, the bounds of your capabilities long-term appear to be virtually limitless. Although LeBron has now suggested on multiple occasions that his retirement is looming closer by the day, how long would it actually take until LeBron is no longer an NBA caliber player? Well, first we need to know what not good enough is. What does a replacement level player on the verge of a Turkish league contract look like? No, not.
Oh. Hey, Jimmy Hot Roller, you ain't gotta throw shots like that, bro. Wow, that's disrespectful.
Well, first we need to know what not good enough is. What does a replacement level player on the verge of a Turkish league contract look like?
Disrespectful.
No, not
disrespectful.
Like, statistically, what does it look like? According to Basketball Reference, a player with a box plus minus of 10 or more is an all-time great season. A BPM of 8 or more is an MVP caliber season. 6 or more is about all NBA. Keep going down, and a BPM of -2 is where we'll find the end of the bench players. But even this number is still far too high. This season, players like Jaylen Brown, Jamal Murray, and Jaime Jaquez have a BPM of less than -2. We want to see this man play until he's no longer invited back. If we keep going down the leaderboard, it's not until about -4 where we reach the bottom 15% of the NBA.
Okay.
Now, these spots essentially make up the last couple of players at the end of the bench. I want LeBron to play until he's down here in the trenches.
Okay,
so
in the trenches. There go Bronny.
Until he's at this point. It really is wishful thinking to assume to just keep going indefinitely. But history has shown even the greats are usually closer to the end of the road than we may think. In 2013, in his 17th season in the NBA, Kobe Bryant averaged 27, 6, and 6 a game, made first-team All-NBA, a top
Rest in peace, Kobe,
in the entire league, and was on track to playing the highest caliber of basketball we had ever seen from a player approaching 2 decades in the league. A couple injuries, and just 107 games later,
he was out of there
and done playing basketball. In Tim Duncan's 18th season in the NBA, he finished the year 10th in MVP voting, 3rd team All-NBA, and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. The very next season, he was putting up 8 points a game in 25 minutes.
Out of there.
And within a season, he was out of the league. Shaquille O'Neal, in his 17th season, led the league in shooting efficiency and made an All-NBA team. Just 90 games later,
out of there.
He's no longer an NBA player. When things start to go downhill, they go quick. But that's just it. Even after 22 years, things have yet to go downhill for LeBron. Here is a graph of the career progression of many all-time greats in terms of box plus minus, from their first season to their last. And right away, you'll notice a trend going on here. Here's Bird, Magic, Jordan, and Hakeem. Here's Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, Garnett, and Wade, extending their careers into or near the 2-decade mark, but still succumbing to the sharp decline that all players eventually face. And here are some current legends: Durant, Steph, Kawhi, Harden, CP3, and across the board, the general shape of most of their careers look very similar.
But then here go LeBron shit.
5 seasons, a prime that lasts from about season 6 to season 10.
And here go LeBron
11,
shit.
And then around season 12 or 13, the decline begins. Sometimes this decline
that's not
is
LeBron
gradual
shit.
and steady, like in the case of Durant and Duncan. Sometimes a player can find a second prime later in their career,
CP3.
like Stephen Curry has. But the best players of all time usually play the longest. And even for them, around season 17 or 18, the wheels completely fall off and retirement awaits. Except for LeBron.
It's LeBron.
It shouldn't even be possible to be this good for this long. LeBron in year 22 is about as valuable and impactful on the court as most all-time great players are in about their 12th or 13th season.
Insane, bruh.
Today, for this number way down here, the dreaded threshold of retirement. And right now, LeBron is far from it. If he wanted to, could he play until he was 45, 50? Well, first and foremost, contrary to popular belief, LeBron is declining, and he has been for a while now. Some fans are saying LeBron is in his 4th prime and that he hasn't slowed down. And as much as I wish this were the case,
so I watched the game the other day. You can go check my page. It's a Laker game, and he had a dunk. He dunked on somebody. Matter of fact, it was the Lakers versus the Magic. He dunked on somebody. And when LeBron James dunked, y'all know, the rim right here, his arm all the way back here. When he dunked on people, his head all the way. Bro, the rim was here. LeBron's head was way down here, bro. I was like, oh, there's some age. There's the age. He ain't getting that same bounce like he used to, bro.
It's just not. LeBron's true prime was.
Hey, look how see what I'm saying? Look how high his head is.
6-year stretch where he led the league in win shares, PER, VORP, box plus.
I noticed it right then and there. I was like,
compare that to his last 6 seasons, and although he is still an all NBA caliber player, it's really not even close. And this idea that he is still at or near his prime tells me people have forgotten just how incredible LeBron was at his peak. LeBron was so dominant in his prime that despite being 40 years old and about 70% of the player he once was, he is still one of the best players in the world. Now, like most other players, his game may just fall off a cliff at any moment, or he could sustain a bad injury that derails his last couple of seasons. But if either of these things were to happen, they probably already would have. So let's irrationally assume he continues to regress at the rate he currently is. If we take a look at what is considered to be the best all-in-one metric, estimated plus minus, then 2020 was LeBron's last true MVP caliber season. That year he finished the season with the 4th highest EPM, behind only Harden, Giannis, and Steph. But since then, he's been slowly slowing down. From being ranked 4th amongst all players to 7th in 2021 to 12th, 16th, a diabolical jump back up to 10th, and this season where so far he ranks 20th in the league, which still puts him firmly in the 96th percentile league-wide. Over the last 6 seasons, on average, LeBron's EPM has
I say about 6 years, man.
Season, and this decrease isn't speeding up. If anything, it has leveled out and stayed about the same since 2022. But overall, LeBron's career trajectory has looked and could continue to look like this, where he will eventually
year 30
Father Time like everyone else, just a whole lot later than everyone else. At this rate, by next season, LeBron will have an EPM of 3, a mark that puts him all the way down in the 95th percentile. We got to keep going. By year 24, he'll have an EPM.
So they just taking something off every
92nd percentile. By year 25,
still all-star.
he'll be in the 86th percentile.
Still a starter.
In the 76th percentile.
Not gonna lie.
Year 27, the 61st percentile, which at
I don't want to see this part.
would still have him as
I don't think I want LeBron to play until the wheels fall off, because he already gets a lot of hate. People thought he was washed from the moment he stepped in the Lakers jersey. So if we was to watch him like play until the wheels fall off, people gonna eat him alive, bro. And I'm not ready for that. We know he's washed, but then there's going to be people who's gonna still try to defend him, and it's gonna be, see, I told y'all LeBron. It's them people that I don't like. See, I told y'all he was trash, but you waited until he was 47. Like, get out of here.
With an EPM of negative 2.16. For perspective, some players that currently have
he don't need to come off the bench. He don't. That ain't
Jackson
it.
Hayes and Keldon Johnson. By year 29,
because then if he plays till the wheels fall off, they still gonna compare him to people playing today. They gonna be like, yeah, 48-year-old LeBron, he not better than Anthony Edwards. I mean, he not supposed to be.
Decades in the league, LeBron would at last fall within the range of a replacement
in his 29th season, 2032,
3.8 within the bottom 8% of the league. At the current rate LeBron is declining, he could theoretically play until 2031 at the ripe age of 46 before he would have to throw in the towel.
46 is crazy.
And as crazy as this timeline looks, LeBron playing until the year 2031.
LeBron should watch this.
He could play even longer. To even make
and take it as a challenge.
In the NBA, you need to get minutes.
Like, bitch, I'm playing till I'm 47.
Trust of your team and coaching staff. LeBron has played
that ain't gonna end up on the goddamn Detroit Pistons.
So well that I think as long as he wanted to play and as long as he's able to get up and down the court without his body falling apart, he would get minutes and he would be capable of contributing in the NBA. Earlier, I mentioned Tim Duncan and how quickly his production fell off at the very end of his career. But even without game-breaking numbers, he was still a quality player.
Efficient.
With advanced metrics and contributions that made him worthy of a spot in the league clear up until the moment he retired. Almost as if he was so seasoned and so skilled that even at his worst, he was still better than many other players in the league, even if he was a shell of his former self. And I think this would be the case for LeBron. maybe instead of an exponentially rapid decline in years, his game would hit its theoretical basement. And once it gets to that point, he just stays there. Nowhere near his best days, but still good enough to be a contributing player for the foreseeable future. The main culprit behind the retirement of every single great player was physical limitations and injuries. There has never been an all-time great player who retired because they lost their touch or the skill they once had. Players lose a step. They aren't as quick as they used to be, can't jump as high or react as fast, and they begin to ask too much of their body as it slowly shuts down as the mileage piles up. Late into their careers, they are only as capable as their body allows them to be. And no one in the history of the league has been more
taking care of their body than LeBron. I told y'all that.
Throughout his entire career, he's been able to mitigate injuries. And even when he does get injured, he's always bounced back relatively quickly with virtually no lingering symptoms. And skill-wise, he's only gotten better as the years have gone along. I know, it sounds absurd, but I think LeBron could play for literally as long as he wanted to. I get it, it's crazy. We've never seen an athlete do that before. But LeBron is an absurd athlete unlike any other that we've seen before. So to answer the question of how long LeBron could continue to play in the NBA as a quality, contributing player, well, based on his current pace and some statistical analysis, if what we've seen is any indication of what's to come, then he could play for about 29 seasons. But based on my completely unbiased and always correct feelings and my admiration for the greatest athlete of my lifetime, I would say, somewhere between however long he wants to and hopefully forever.
Well, I can tell you that. He not playing basketball forever, I can tell you that. But Jimmy High Roller has did it again. The only man that beat Father Time. The only other man that beat Father Time a little bit was Tom Brady. We ain't gonna get that. Other people be trying, but it ain't the same. Tom Brady did it. Braun is doing it. It's not gonna. It's low key. CP3 is doing it too, but that's not. You know he. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Peace.